Hello and welcome to the Applied Energistics 2 tutorial. Now, I made a previous YouTube short about this, so I saw people were asking for more in-depth overview, and I did leave out some key information in the previous one, so we are going to go over that. So, to start out, why do you need Applied Energistics 2? And it's storage, really, mostly. Big tech mods, or not mods, mod packs use Applied Energistics 2 in order to do all of your storage and automation. So we're gonna go over how to do that. First, I am going to grab a bunch of these Fluix cables. So see, I have a glass cable, smart cable, dense smart cable. And there's also the covered cable, but the covered cable isn't as good as the smart cable. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's used to make the smart cable, so don't have to worry about that. We're just gonna go over these three. Or we're just gonna be using these three. Along with controllers, drives, P2P, ME P2P tunnels. I can't get item P2P tunnels to work for some reason. I can get redstone to work. I don't know about fluid, energy, and light. Just haven't figured that out yet. Well, it's not that I haven't figured it out, it's that I've only needed to use ME P2P. So, how? Why do we need P2P tunnels? Is something we will get into as well. I don't know why I'm endlessly scrolling. I need drives, and those are in here. So Applied Energistics. Oh, I can't speak. Applied Energistics 2 uses power, of course. CNC. It's not using much, just 3 AE tick to power the controller itself. And how do we get that power? Usually it's from other mods. You wouldn't want to really use the AE2 power system because it sucks compared to most other power sources. There's 2 in the mod. There's the vibration chamber, which is just a fancy furnace. And then we have the crystal resonance generator. And this one works a bit differently. It's actually not too bad. But if we slap this on here, you'll see it is generating 20 AE a tick. And we are only using 3. And it does so passively. So what that means is it's going to forever generate 20 AE a tick. But you can only put one of them on a network. See, it didn't increase the amount of generation, even if I remove it. So you only get one of these, which it's not great. It's not bad. Another thing we're going to need for P2P tunnels, memory cards. It's a thing we'll get into in a bit. And I guess we can get into autocrafting. That's another thing. So, the vibration chamber, fancy furnace. You put coal, you put fuel on it, generates energy. You can give it faster coal burning for more power. I don't really think it's worth it if you have alternate sources of energy. So there's that. Okay. So how do we connect these drives to this? We are going to use these cables, as you've probably realized. The Fluix ones are special. So if we grab like smart cable, if we grab like red and green, here we have a red cable, here we have a green cable. If I try and connect the two, you'll see, man, these two aren't connecting. That's I mean, what if I want them to? That's where the flukes ones come in. Put that there. Both sides connect. You can even do it with these ones. So that's a little fun trick if you ever need to use it. But we're just gonna mainly be using these for the majority of the tutorial. So let's hook all of this up to the Fluix cable. And then you'll see we have 2 drives. And that uses more energy than we actually would generate off of a passive thing. That's fine. We aren't using that, we're using creative power. So now we have these storage drives, right? We have 16,000 items we can store. How do we use them? We need a terminal. Now there's a few terminals. There's a pattern encoding terminal, ME crafting terminal, ME terminal, ME pattern access terminal. 2 main ones you've probably seen people use are the crafting terminal or the basic terminal. So the basic terminal is just this. It's just storage. That's all you can do with it. Crafting terminal, you can also craft. And it's storage. So there's no real use to have this one, because usually you're just going to want this. And we can grab just absolute metric ton of iron. You can just throw it all in there. Thousands of iron stored in this. Pretty simple. So, this is better than chests. It's just better. I mean, at first you're like, oh, you can only hold 63 different item types. But, each block can hold, 10 of those? That's 630 types of items per block. And you can just put a bunch of these down. I could have 8 of these hooked up to one of these basic cables. Like if I grab the regular smart cable, I put down a drive, you'll see that one of the little lines of it's lit up. So that means there's a channel in use, and the more you add, the more are in use. And you get 4 dim ones, and then you get a lit one in between. So if we max this out, this is a max use. So this is a little hard to look at. So let's do this. This is the maximum output for a regular cable. These 2 kinds right here. Maximum is 8. Now, you can also do this. And these ones carry up to 32. They're 8 times more efficient than these. That's a pretty simple thing for you to get. Channels are your currency, basically. Each machine costs 1. And it's also getting dark, so I'm going to time set day and game rule do daylight cycle false. Sorry. It's nice and moody, but it's not really something we need right now. So you get this, right? It makes sense. Just bunch of storage. Now there's other uses beyond this, like we can do Autocrafting. I don't know where that is. Where is crafting storage? Crafting monitors aren't needed. Pattern providers are. And then co-processing unit. I don't think I need the pattern provider. But you have these crafting storages, and then you have the co-processing unit. Then, yeah. So if I hook that up, that's all powered. And yeah, okay. We're just gonna slap a few extra things on that. Now we have some auto crafting capabilities. It's a bit weird. So you saw those other terminals. So we go here. There's pattern access terminal, the pattern encoding terminal. I did not mean to do that. Yeah. So with our 16,000 iron, grab some blank patterns, just spam a few. Okay, so we have a bunch of patterns. Say we want to autocraft some iron blocks back into iron. We can encode that pattern onto here. You can hold shift to see the item it's crafting. And then you need molecular assemblers, and you need pattern providers, right? And we're just going to extend this cable out a bit. So here, I have our pattern provider, and then we're going to surround it in molecular assemblers. Now you're probably thinking, man, how the hell are we going to access that? It's completely surrounded. That's what this is for. Put this in here. It now knows it can craft iron ingots. And now you're like, man, I could really use 1,000 iron ingots. Yeah, that's only going to use 120 or 112 blocks of iron. So this is just pretty simple. And then we have different CPUs. So it has a lot of storage, obviously. If it's set to automatic, it'll just use whatever is available, not whatever's like. I think it goes from biggest to smallest, but let's say I want that crafted. Now going to start putting it in here. And you can accelerate these with acceleration cards, but usually parallel processing is pretty quick. Because, man, we already have that 1,000 iron I needed. Crazy. Now I can go over here. Say I don't want any more iron ingots. Say I want nuggets. Do the same thing here. Slap it in here. Now we can craft nuggets too. Let's craft 10,000 nuggets. And you'll notice we only have 1,008 iron. We need 1,116 to craft all 10,000 nuggets. And so, if we have the ability to autocraft other materials, it will queue up the first task that we have to do, and then it'll do the next task. And you'll see, man, it's making these nuggets. Pretty easy, pretty simple. It's not too complicated. You can also, instead of molecular furnaces, use coal in furnaces. So instead of these molecular assemblers, you have it smelt some iron. Or, like, if we grab a pattern provider, grab some furnaces. I do know how to hook up P2P tunnels. That's what we're going to next. So, you will notice this only has 8 sides. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sides plus 1 side for power. Now, there's a way to make it bigger. You just slap 2 next to each other. And grab our creative energy cell. Give them power. Now both are powered. But, Might notice that maybe you don't have enough sides. So you just add another, and another, and another, and another, and you just keep going. Oh, camera. Guess you can't have one in the middle. Maybe you just want 2 rings or some weird configuration. And I mean, this isn't really that efficient. You might notice, like we're wasting some space here between these two. So how can we maximize the amount of space while still getting usage out of all of our channels? That's where this little guy comes in. So we take these controllers, and actually I'm going to build up a little before I do this. So we take our controller, right? And we just build a ring. And that maximizes the amount of sides we can use. So we can use this side, we can use every side. And if I was smart, I would be using big cable. But you might notice if we place them, man, all these sides are connected and it'll only be 32 per channel. So how can we fix this? Now, there's 2 ways. We can use colored cable, which, I mean, it isn't a horrible solution. It's just, you need a lot of cables. Like, say, I want a cable running from each of these. You'd have to then worry about, like, oh, I want this cable to go down, but this cable's in the way. So you gotta extend it a little further. And then now you want this cable over here, but now you have to wrap it around these two. And you gotta go this way, and it just uses a lot of cable. So how do we minimize the cable usage? That's the next thing you worry about. So that's why we have P2P tunnels. It is to reduce cables. Just slap them on. They do all of the dirty work. So we have our little ring. Cover every side but one, so we still need power. That'll probably be down here. We need the power. Put power on that. And now we have power. So you're probably wondering, man, there's still some unused space. Yeah, we can fix that too. And the one unfortunate part, these cables can't connect to the P2P tunnels. I pressed the arrow. Oh no. But how do we connect them? Using the Fluix cables, we can. So we take Fluix cable, connect it there, and you're noticing, man, it's still a little not good that these are connecting this way. So we use colored cable. Now, colored cables aren't bad. They're just annoying to craft. You don't have a lot of dye. So we just grab each one of the cables we need, and then we grab a smaller version of each cable. We need less magenta or purple. I need to reapply all that. Then we just grab a red cable. Then we just remove these. Reapply them. Then let's use our blue cable. And fun fact, we can use the blue cable there. We can use it there. We can use it there. We can use it here. We can even use it down here. Then we can use a purple cable. we want to give this thing power. So we just grab our creative energy cell again, put this back down. Now it's powered. And then all we have to do is wire these up. So we grab a blue cable for this side, or we can have, like, if this was red, we could use a red cable, or we can use a Fluix one. Just to put a little bit of ease. You can do that. All sorts of ways you can set this up. I don't need to go through every way. But you're probably noticing, man, this not the most amount of channels. I mean, it's a lot, but maybe we could have more, you know? We can maybe get a little silly with it, even. So, what if we did? Instead of one ring, why don't we make the entire thing out of rings? And then, if we already have the entire thing out of rings, how do we make it bigger? Because maybe you want more channels. Well, we just do this. Then we add another ring. And, man, we have a ring here. It means make a ring of rings. And you can see where this is going. You go here, you go here, go here, go here. You just build a ring on each and every one. And eventually, you end up with an absurd shape where you're maximizing the amount of space you're using, how many channels you get, and somewhere... oh, that's right. And you see, and that's made up of cubes. And you just keep going. You can infinitely expand this design. I didn't make it, but you can use it. In the channel. Oh, right, yeah. Doesn't like it when you put it up in certain ways. If I put one here, it's gonna flash red and it's not usable. And we're just gonna finish this up. And then I will go on to show you how to use the P2P tunnel. I know, I'm just like throwing it in your face. Like, oh, P2P tunnel. Probably don't know what it does yet. And we're gonna show you why this is important. Just gonna finish up the cool cube, neon. Yeah, now we have our cube of cube. So, why on earth would you ever need this big of a cube? How are you even supposed to use it all? And the first question's answer is automation. Say you want 1,000 processes going at once. Use the cube. Cube of cubes, even. You don't have to make it this big. You could get away with probably just doing one of these in any regular playthrough, and you would be fine. Like this. Perfectly adequate. You don't need one really bigger than this in standard use cases. But if you want to do something silly and absurd and have endless storage and possibility, make a big cube. And you can scale this up and make a big cube, but do we really need that? Probably not. So, I keep going on about the P2P tunnels. How do we use them? Well, just slap them on. And you just hook up all the red ones. And then I don't have a way to shrink myself. Actually, wait, do I? Attribute at a scale size there. Oh, I'm not in the version with size changing. Dang. Do I have tick? Alright, but if I were to be able to get in here, I would be able to get every side. We're just gonna do the ones we can. I guess I can go in here. Let me do this. We can do that. Then that's 8 plus 4. That's not even enough. Oh wait, I remember how this is done. All the inside ones are different. Right. Okay, so we're just gonna hook these ones up with red. 4, 8, 12, 16, 24. 28 and 32. Except I forgot this needs to be big cable. Not really sure how this. I don't remember. There's a way to do it. There's a way to get all the inside ones. I don't remember. But you can do it, and then just hook them up. Have 8, and then just gonna use this one facet. So we need to control this sub-network. What does that mean? We have our network, this big cube. As I right-click, network details 0 channels, 208 controllers. And then we have this cable that hooks up all the P2P. This is a sub-network. We can also set this up to be ring. You don't have to. Just something you do. You can use many different colors. You get it. We need to power this one now. Just slap our energy in. Any side, anywhere. So now, all 12 of these P2P tunnels are hooked up. Or 8. Yeah, I don't really know how you're supposed to get the ones inside, but there's a way to do it. I don't remember. But I could hook up ones here. 4, 8. Hook up another set of red ones. Then use the big cable. Do we have a wrench? You have a wrench. Say I don't want this connecting. Really do that? Nope. that is how you pick up the cable. So we would have to use blue cable here if we didn't want those hooking up, which is fine. Just hook up that, and then we have blue cable. And this comes over. Ta-da! We have this. Now, again, I keep forgetting. Why would you need a P2P tunnel? Well, these tunnels act as little portals. Like how... I can't spell. And I'm also kind of stupid because I got the wrong thing. So imagine we have another portal, right? Flint and steel. We have our nether portal. These act as another portal. So imagine we send one signal into the port. Okay. Imagine we send one signal through this portal, right? We're not actually sending it through this portal. For this demonstration, we are. We're sending it through the portal. Then over here, in maybe a different orientation, take our flint and steel again, and our signal comes out. So you put it in through one side, and keep in mind this is a one-way sort of thing. So put it in this side, and we have this blue cable connecting this over to here. Here we have our second portal pumping out the cable. Hope that makes sense. So this is that. That is I know, I've got to construct it, but that portal is now this portal. See it here, over there, here. Get the idea. Oh man, I messed it up. Put the wrong drive. And put one in the storage. Now you notice, man, the lights aren't on. Does this thing not work? And you would be right, it's not working. It's not currently working. Because, notice, portal's lit. Two portals know who each other are. But this portal, not lit. You look right there in the corner, you'll see it's just white. That's where we take our memory card. Keep in mind, memory card. Right click. Oh, shift right click. It makes a configuration. The frequency of this is 6871. That's it won't be the same for you. Unless you're extremely lucky. But it takes the frequency we've set for this, and we just go all the way over here and say we want to use this one. The device configuration from memory card. Clear it. By shift right clicking the air, it'll clear it. We right click, or if we right click, it sets it. Shift right click, it's copied. Shift right click air, it's gone. Makes sense? But now that we've lit our portal, this goes through this wire, through here, down here, and puts this controller face right here. This one right there. Yeah, right here. It's taking that face, is pumping it directly here. Did I appear to be stupid. Why is this not working? How have I messed this up? Copy, load. Oh, these just need to be refreshed. Oh, I forgot all of these of the items. Oops. But if we take one of these, and we take a terminal, put it here. Oh no, there's no items in it, even though here it says there is. That's because you're stupid. Put it on the sub-network. You need to put it on the main network. Now, can't put it here, because all of these are full. So, we're gonna make a new one. We take the cable, we take a smaller cable, we take a P2P tunnel, we take another cable, and then we just fold it out a little, put some smart cable above it, and let's just slap a crafting terminal or 4 down. Depends on how many teammates you have. Maybe each one a terminal. Maybe color it differently. But these are our terminals, and they aren't connected. So we gotta grab our flint and steel, or our memory card, whatever you want to call it. Take it, put it over there. Back over here. Stupid me. And look, we've done it. We have all of our storage accessible here. Basically, we're just pumping channels. So each one of these holds 32, 32, and you can just retrofit the entire thing. We're not using these ones right now. So we then 8 times 4 and 32, 8 4. And then and every channel we physically can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 32, top loop, every single of these. And then so on. Oh no, save it. Then we just take this cable, bring it down to our ME system. Another 32 channels. We unplug that. Not 32. Now it is. So you get how the P2P tunnel works now. It's a portal that connects this side over here to this side. Or in this case, we're taking this side, the side connected directly to the P2P tunnel, and we are connecting it through a bunch of wires through this into here, and we are taking it and putting out the face here. This way, we can have a lot less wires, because otherwise it would be one wire for each, and it gets a mess. Like, because you would need a wire for this one that's really thick and pretty expensive, or you can combine them and put 8 faces together, 32 faces together actually. So you lower the amount of wires you're using from 32 per face, or one of like these, instead of 32 on each side, we use 1, which is really nice, really cool, and really efficient. And ideally you want this directly in the middle of like your automation area, as cleanly as you can get it. This isn't really that clean. I'm not the best at wiring things up. I'm more adept at manually doing the auto crafting, but you get it. And you also have these facades, which can go on tables, and it just makes it look like a block. That's another fact of AE2. You have lots of facades. You probably see them all the time in JEI. Really annoying. This isn't really a survival tutorial. And a lot of what you're going to want to know is on this guide here, which I think is crafted using Skystone? No. Slash advancement grant at S everything. Okay. I guess I'm not allowed to see how to craft it. We're gonna be here for a minute. Okay. I'm gonna put the recipe on screen. Right here for the guidebook. Okay. God damn it. So you see the guide, and it gives you a lot of important stuff. A lot of important things, like how you place a terminal. It will give you tips on UI. There's even some example setups of Amethyst Farm, a main network. You can move it around too. You can really hover over everything. It tells you what it is. You can see the drives. You can see this over here. And then auto-generating or auto-regulated cobblestone generator. I don't know what you need that for. Probably cobblestone. And automatic fortune for ores. Cell dumper or filler, so you can fill and empty like shulker boxes. You can look at subnetworks. Auto stocking using emitters, level emitters. Oh, furnace automation. Here's how you do it. You need a subnetwork. That's how. And you hop right back in. Okay. I get it now. Yeah, okay. This. I regret. Oh, wait, hold on. I need stop sound at us. Okay. Think. No. Stop it. Okay. Again, the recipe for the guide is here. And everything you need to know is in this little guide. It'll show you every block, every recipe. Oh, wait. It's right here! I found the recipe! Oh my god! Why is the recipe for the guide in the guide? Okay. But you get it. Right? Okay. I don't need to edit that. You just get to look at me be stupid. Okay. That's fucking great. Okay, but Certus quartz is made from, budding Certus quartz, and we can, you get it. And this is our little AE2 tutorial. The screenshot for an alternative thumbnail. It's not an in-depth view of everything. I mean, it's It's a pretty in-depth view or review. You get it. We didn't go over spatial storage. I can do that in another tutorial if you guys want. I don't want this one getting too long. Charger. Charge this Certus quartz. I did the meme. It's charged. Wow. Pretty fast. Yeah, so to wrap everything up, AE2 is a great mod for large scale automation. A lot of people don't like the channel system, and that's okay. Yeah, it's your mod pack. Do whatever you want. Configure it to not have that. In fact, you can just go well, I would click the config option, except I can't. You can go into your folder with your mod pack, configure the config to not have channels if you really don't want them. Another thing people don't really like is the types. I kind of got over that because it's so easy once you have storage to make more storage. So yeah, pretty cool mod, all things considered, and it's widely used in most mod packs, and I think it will be used for a long time unless someone comes up with a better storage solution, because refined storage is not it. But I like refined storage. It's not bad. I just feel AE2 has a lot more functionality and silliness. Because if you look at these spatial storage cells, you can store structures and move them around. So you can just snap shit, and it's really funny. It's really obvious, and you can't really just snap someone's house without them knowing, but you can just take it, move it like 5 blocks, 20 blocks, or whatever. It's really funny. That's enough rambling. You can automate stuff, as you can see. You can have an absurd amount of storage. I can store like hundreds of thousands of items. I don't know how to check the max size of your storage system, but sure there's a way. I don't know. But the downside to this is you have to power this, which uses a lot of power. And you have to power these, which uses a lot of power. And also, another thing, if you're powering this using other energy types like FE, I think is usable, if not the alternate to AE. If you have some weird wacky energy, you can use one of these, and it does the same thing as this, except for other energy types, because for some reason there's like 1,000. So put your energy into here, it'll count as it being hooked up. If you're generating enough energy, it is. I don't really remember how to get every face in here, but I'm sure you can figure it out. And I think that is where I will leave this. So have a good rest of your wonderful morning, and goodbye. Why are you still here?